Welcome to Better Marriage Daily, where we give you tips to learn how to love each other in spite of each other. Yes, indeed, I'm Sean.
And I'm V.
And we are here today to talk about some interesting topics, y'all. Some interesting topics. So we've had people call in and call in like we're on the radio. We've had people call in. And, we've had people reach out and say that they wanted certain things. Like this one thing right here I want to talk about. The reset after a disagreement. Do you do it or do you go tit for tat? Let's talk about it. Like to hear it? Here it go.
Well,
go ahead.
Things are different now, but back when we were newly married, you know, we had a lot of challenges. At least I had challenges for sure. As you go into this thing, as you live in this thing, you kind of learn how to navigate things, how what works and what doesn't after, bumping your head several times.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
So, now is a different thing. But before, I can say that it was difficult, especially when you're not necessarily used to having anybody challenge you.
Giving any differing opinions.
Yeah.
For anything.
Yeah, for anything.
There's no pushback at all.
No pushback at all because it's just you.
No pushback.
It's just you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say early on it was difficult, and it was easy to get into something and not. It was easy to get into something, and not communicate in the best ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Easy to do that in the beginning for sure. So how do we reset?
Like we just did. It's really it's a mind thing. I do a lot of talking to myself. Talking to myself and letting the Holy Spirit just kind of, get on me sometimes and things. So I'm able to see things in another way, have a different perspective, I guess. And so I'm able to come out of it and to really see things differently.
Okay.
And that gets me out of it, to calm down and to
explain that,
to calm down first of all, to calm down and to really get to the root of what's bothering me, I guess, about the whole situation, and to see things from a new perspective, to see things from your perspective as well. And to be slow to respond and react, to listen. And that usually calms me down. It makes sense?
Oh yeah, it does. I'm really just asking because we sat up here to do this episode and I saw this and I said, okay, let's just go with this. And so it's fresh.
It is fresh.
It's a fresh topic. I don't really have an answer because after I say what I say, I'm good.
Yeah, I can't say that. After you say what you say, you're good, but then I'm not good necessarily until I've worked it out in my head first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah, you believe me. I know you do.
I believe you. I'll be checking you out. Like, okay. Okay.
Like, let me just.
So I guess the thing is, whoever needs to work it out in their head, you got to give them the space to do so.
Right.
You got to give them space to go and work it out, however they do it. So the way we do stuff now, the successful way we do stuff now. I used to be a pusher, so I want to find out why. I want to know why, And what I can't stand is circle arguing. We've already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will get into a knockdown drag out because you circle arguing.
Right.
And it's not even, I'm at that point, I'm like, it's not even about what we started. It's about the fact you circle arguing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the point. And I'm gonna keep
Right.
going down until I'm gonna drill down until we both
Mm-hmm.
understand that this is not the point and what you're talking about is not relevant to why we started this conversation. Let's go back to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that, honestly, for years, that was the crux of our disagreements.
Right.
Oh,
I know.
And I would just get to the point after talking for, however long, which was always too long. I would be like, can you just say my bad?
Mm-hmm.
Once we've established that it was your bad. Now, if it wasn't your bad, don't say it. But if it was your bad, can we just say my bad and not try to change the subject and make yourself right? And,
Right.
and she'd be like, but I'm not. Because see, once you did that though, and I was thinking that, but what you were thinking ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Most times, no.
Yeah, because it's a conversation that you had in your head
In my head, right.
without me
And
present.
like I've said before, I've had more conversations in my head than I've had with you.
Yeah.
You know,
Say it right. You've had more conversation in your head with me.
With you than I've had with you.
There you go. There you go.
And that's true.
Y'all, sometimes I'll be like, and what did I say in your head?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
And when
true.
you had this conversation with me in my head, what in your head? What did I say?
Yeah,
Because I don't remember that. I wasn't present for that conversation.
right.
So in this instance, you know what? We might have found something. In this instance, I'm not necessarily the right person to even talk about this, because my thing is this. I think when you have a disagreement, right? When you have a disagreement, first of all, have the disagreement and have it civilly.
Mm-hmm.
Be civil about it. Yeah, ain't no even if it's passionate, even if it's heated fellowship and we hollering and voices
Still
are raised,
civil. Mm-hmm.
still be civil about it. You can be passionate and not disrespectful.
Right.
So don't cross the line and be disrespectful. But once you've had the disagreement, now everybody take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all may be two hot-headed people. Y'all may just need to have it out and then separate, but separate for a designated amount of time.
Yeah.
So okay,
don't let it fester.
We're gonna take 20 minutes.
Right.
Work it out in 20 minutes. Yeah, and I say 20 minutes because you don't want to give yourself too much time, because then you start having conversations in your head
Right.
with the person that you're not with.
A person like me.
Yeah.
I need more than 20.
Well, how many minutes you need?
Depending on
How many hours you need?
Depending on what it is. Some disagreements or just a day is warranted. You know what I'm saying?
Day?
A whole day. Some disagreements are, I'm not saying that we're gonna be upset with each other and disrespectful and any of none of that.
It was just
What
like
I'm
when
saying
we
is
was
that
low-key.
processing, because for me personally, it takes me a minute to process
It was
all of my thoughts.
It was like when we was low-key beefing the other day with mama. Like that?
Yeah, kind of like that.
All day. Silent.
Yeah, silent.
Silent treatment.
And the silent treatment wasn't for you. The silent treatment was for me, because I was processing everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then, just realizing that I was just stressed the heck out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about all of it, like, girl, like, you were really stressed. And then I'm thinking about that. And then I'm thinking about you. And I'm thinking about everything that's happening. And I'm thinking about, the drive. And then I'm thinking about, getting there and what the day is going to be like. And, I'm just thinking about all of these things. And then being afraid, like I told you before, being fearful of the unknown and all that. That was weighing on me. Mm-hmm. So I needed, the time that I needed, which it wasn't.
But how much of that had to do with the disagreement?
Oh, my feelings had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but see what I'm saying? You just named a whole bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with the disagreement.
It didn't, but it brought on all of that. The reason I responded in the way that I did, I didn't know that I was stressed out and really dealing with stuff until that happened.
Mm.
So it was a blessing that it happened the way it did, because it made me face.
Made you be introspective.
Yes. It made me face all of that, deal with it. And then after that, I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A whole day.
A whole day.
So whole day. So I had to put up with that a whole day.
Yeah.
But luckily, I was in pain.
You were dealing with your own stuff.
Luckily, I was in pain and did not give 2. No, matter of fact, I gave less than 2.
Yeah. You
I
didn't
was
care.
I was Psh, whatever. You be all right.
And I was.
We going back to the same house. We gonna be all right.
That's right.
You know.
I was.
Because the disagreement we had, once I said what I said, I was good.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna fix it. And then she came out and was like, well, that hurt me. And I was like, I understand that how it could have hurt you. I said, but do you understand why I said what I said?
Yeah.
And she didn't. And then I was like, then I had to explain it.
Then you explained.
And then when I explained it and put it in I said, okay, now take away how you felt, what you thought, what you had the conversation in your head. Now, when I asked for this and you said this, that is where we're talking about.
Yeah, my response.
Your response to my question was why you got the response to your statement.
Yep.
That's why you got that response.
Right.
And that's why I was unapologetic about it, because I had nothing to apologize for.
Right.
I responded to you what you said. I'm not privy to your insides.
Absolutely.
I'm not privy to your heart. I mean, I know your heart, but I ain't privy to your heart at that moment. I just know what comes out your mouth and what the head and the face is saying, and I can only respond to that. And I think I responded well in love.
Did.
I was very matter of fact. I had no filter at the time. And we keep talking about filter. That's something that that y'all probably need to institute if you haven't already. Whenever there's a tense situation, or whenever you're when you're low, and you're not able to filter your partner's things that irritate you about your partner, or your partner irritating you, when you're unable to filter it, what we do is we go, hey, my filter is low. Or like what I'll say is, I'll go, look, I ain't got no filter.
Right.
For whatever reason,
Warning.
I don't have a filter.
Warning.
So if you want to go down this line of discussion, just know I have no filter.
Right.
For some reason, it's gone today. And then she gets to choose whether she wants to go down that road.
Yes. I get to choose.
She gets to choose.
Yeah.
But but like I used to tell, like I learned this in college and I never forgot it. And I don't know where I learned it from, but you are free to choose, but you are not free to choose the consequences of your choice. Translation. When Mike Tyson in his heyday, and whoever the boxer is today, you can walk up to him and you can slap him with all you got. You are free to do that. But you are not free to choose what happens after you do that.
Exactly.
So we go, hey, my filter is low, or I have no filter. And I'm quick to that because I'm always the one with the big filter.
Yes. Always.
I have the huge filter.
Always.
And so I'll give her a reading. Filter's low.
Yeah.
I still got some. Filter's low. But when it's not there, I go, yo.
Yeah.
I ain't got no filter.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because, the other side of that could be like you just say what you can to get me off of you, or to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, but that's something that we've learned, which you've always had that. You've always had that. Me, not so much. So
it's like you go into another world.
Vanessa,
let her go.
Yeah.
So you go to another world.
Yeah.
You have a whole nother thing.
I have a whole nother thing going on. So that's something that I've really had to pray about that, and to, ask God to show me the before. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like reel me in before, because once I've gotten there, then, I'm going to get what I get.
And if I don't have a filter, then it's just ugly.
Especially if you don't have a filter.
Because you're looking for a fight.
I appreciate that.
Because you be looking for a fight, and I don't have a filter. And so then you get a fight, and then afterwards, now I feel bad because you feel bad.
And what's fun is that I'm not really looking for a fight. I just
stuff you be saying sound like you be looking for a fight.
I'm not really looking for one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've really, God has really helped me out with that. And now I'm not in the environment you know,
Mm-hmm.
that
You've
that
detoxed from the hostile environment.
right, that I was, that I was in 40, 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
So that's helped as well.
And her word was
Yeah.
Lil.
Yeah.
Her word was Lil. So I'd have to tell her, say, hey, I'm not one of your little clients. I'm not one of your little inmates. That's not me. I don't have to move because you said move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do that. I ain't got to do
Right.
that. You know?
Right.
So,
Yeah, I've learned, I've learned, like I said, it on a serious note, it's taken prayer, it's taken, God just showing me before I get into a wreck, or before I say something,
before you get to a wreck.
get into a wreck, or before I say something that and it may not be the thing, it may be my tone. It may not be what I say, it may be the tone, it may be a look, it may be a gesture.
Well, you have all of those
things. I have that.
You have all of those.
I have all those things.
Because
God is really, he's been showing me in how am I going to learn and be able to discern when those things are happening is that I have to go through the fire.
True.
Apparently,
True.
Yeah.
Man, look at here.
Seriously.
Yeah, you be going through some fires. You be creating some fires too.
Yeah,
I mean, like y'all, we're always very honest and transparent, and open and transparent with y'all. And so before we started filming this episode, that was an opportunity right there. Mm-hmm. It was a misunderstanding. It wasn't an argument.
No, it wasn't an argument.
It was a misunderstanding. But she was in. So okay. So let me explain. I learned this in my freshman year in a speech class. So in communication. There are three factors. There is encoding, that's the message that you send, mm-hmm. and there's decoding, how the message is received, right? And in the middle of encoding and decoding is interference. Mm-hmm. Now, interference is air, is noise, it's preconceived notions, it's irritation, it's my mood. There's all kinds of things that can be interference.
Right.
And so when encoding and decoding, it's very important to encode as correct, to send the message as clearly as possible. And when decoding, it's important to hear the message first before you respond. Mm-hmm. So listen to it to understand instead of listening to it to respond.
Yeah.
Right. So encoding, decoding, interference. Mm-hmm. And the less interference you have, so the better mood, the more focused you are on your partner, the better. So I only want to love on Vanessa. That's all. I just want to love on her. So that enables me to always consider what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. And whereas I know she loves me, she don't do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Because she's not thinking like that. She's in it. Mm-hmm. No matter what it is.
I'm in it.
She is in it.
I'm in the throes of it.
Yeah, so like I go talk to her and she was like, and so now my filter's low. Mm-hmm. I don't know why my filter's low. My filter been low. And so I looked at her. I said, nah, we ain't got to do it today. No, but you said we got to do it. And then she realized afterwards that she was giving me much attitude. Mm-hmm. And so it changed.
But I caught it.
And so it changed.
Yeah,
and she's
I
like,
caught it.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I caught it.
And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't said it. And now I'm like, I don't feel it.
I caught it.
But yeah, our reset is just to keep on going. Mm-hmm. Talk about it, acknowledge it, and keep on going.
Keep on going.
But the encoding and the decoding is the thing. And I've said this before, and fellas and ladies, I'm challenging y'all. If you want to take the challenge, then reply in the comment section. I'm challenging everybody who's married. Now, if you're not married, you can take the challenge as well. But I'm challenging everybody who's married to take a vow to not raise your voice at your spouse. Mm-hmm. Because I told her a good while ago now, months ago now. Months ago, a lot of months too. Mm-hmm. I said, I will never holler at you again. My endeavor is to never raise my voice towards you for the rest of our lives. Mm-hmm. Unless I'm trying to get you to move and there's danger.
There's that danger.
But even then, I want us to be so in tune that if I say, hey, V, move, she just starts moving without even knowing why.
Right.
Because see, that's another thing that we had. Remember that. So I'm challenging everybody to endeavor to not raise your voice at your spouse. So say I'm going to do my best to never raise my voice at you for the rest of our lives. Because what that's going to have you do once you make that vow to your spouse, is going to have you consider everything you say before you say it. See, she hasn't made that vow yet, but it's okay. Because when she hollers at me, I don't cry and I don't be hurt. I be mad sometimes, but I don't be hurt. But whenever I raise my voice at her, it's like it breaks her little heart.
It does.
And I'm like, you the one that kicked this mess off. You the one that was the one hollering at me. You the one that was doing it.
Yeah.
Because what I had done was I said, listen, you always hollering at me. I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this feels. Every time you holler at me, I'm going to respond at the same volume that you communicate to me in. And I was doing it. And y'all,
man,
she would be hurt.
I was hurt.
I'm like, but you just hollered at me. You realize that? No, I didn't. See, you hollering again. You know?
Yeah.
And so, and I would notice it. And so I was mad. I was even more mad because I'm like, I can't even do you like you're doing me because I love you so much I can't see you hurt.
Yeah.
You know? And I said, okay. So then I told her, I said, look, I promise you, I give you my word.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best to never raise my voice to you again. And I've done a good job.
You've done a great job.
But listen.
Ooh, I'm working. I'm working.
Ooh, she be trying to get it out of me, y'all. No. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spirits in the air. So
working.
That spirit be trying to get me. That one that be trying to say, oh, you said you wasn't gonna do it. Watch this. Hold my beer. You know. And I'm like, no.
And I you know, that's funny because I don't remember that. I never recalled that until we're talking about it.
Recall what?
You know what I'm saying?
Recall what?
That I mean, the fact that you said that you weren't gonna do it, and so it's like
it's fresh
maybe
again. It's brand new again.
Maybe I'd want to challenge you on it to see. I'm like, man, the enemy working through me like that.
You forgot that I told you that?
No.
Okay.
I just don't think about it a whole lot because these things just don't happen often. You know?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah, because I said I can't. Because I just can't do it because I feel good for a hot second.
Yeah.
Like while I'm hollering back, I'm like, you gonna get
great.
this work. I'm like, you gonna get this work. I'm hollering at you just like you hollered at me. You gonna get this work.
And then my response.
And then her little face be just cracked.
Bad.
Just be cracked. And she start talking soft and then and I'm like,
Yep.
Then I'll be mad.
Yep. Because now you feel bad.
Because now I feel bad. I'm like, man. Boy, this thing is wild. This thing is wild. You hear me? It's wild.
It's hilarious. Yeah. It really
So now what I told you to remember? What I said was talking about? Doggone it.
I should have wrote it down.
I know,
I need
right?
to have me a little pad up here.
It was something anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna remember it. I gotta remember it because it was good.
I can't remember.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So so we endeavor to communicate and encode and decode in a manner that's not high volume. I do a great job at it. Got more practice. We're y'all help us stretch your hands forth towards the TV screen of your phone and help us deliver this. Help us deliver this. We come against that hollering spirit. Yeah. So man.
It's pretty ingrained.
That's funny.
At least I can say it.
Yeah.
At least I can say it.
Yeah, that's funny.
You know, it's just one of those things. Like when we talk about, our, growing up.
Y'all wasn't hollering all the time, were you?
Huh?
Y'all was hollering in that house?
No, not y'all.
Who was hollering? Don't drink no water now. Don't drink no drink now.
It's tea. But I mean, everybody in my family is loud. Except Daddy. And then when he had to be loud, you'd be like, and that's what it brings me to.
Yeah.
when he be like,
Hey,
man, that's what it does.
yeah, everybody go.
You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe women feel like that if their husbands raise their voice at them, it makes you feel like when you were
Bro.
this little, you know, or a youngster in your parents' house and your dad yelled at you, you'd raise his voice.
Well, not in a fatherly manner.
No, not in a fatherly manner,
how about
but
this?
you get the same.
Yeah, how about this? Because even no matter how hard you're acting,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I holler, that hits you.
Oh,
It hits you,
yeah.
and you realize that you soft on the inside. That for me,
Mm.
and me hollering shook that on the inside, like, whoa.
Oh yeah,
like that same.
Yeah, that same thing.
Yeah,
but
that same
but
thing.
it brings me back to, like, you know, like all of us. I could tell my boy when daddy would raise his voice, we'd be like,
yeah, everybody get attention.
you know. So that's what it brought me back to.
It hurts the little girl in you
Exactly.
whenever I holler.
Yeah, I'm this, you know,
because
this
the little
12,
girl,
10,
your
12,
id, the little girl in you is your sensitive part, your raw, unprotected part. And whenever my voice is raised and I'm hollering in your direction, that part of you is like, whoa, man, what did I do? And then now you feel bad for what you did, but now you're like, but he's hollering, and you know, and again, and for me, it's like sometimes it's like you look like you scared of me, and I ain't never raised my hand.
Oh no, I'm not afraid of
you. I'm saying whenever I holler,
yeah,
when I would holler,
but that's what I'm
you
saying.
Be like,
I wasn't afraid. I was, you know, it's just I can't explain.
It's just a little kid. It's a little kid, and you've been shocked, like, whoa,
right.
Like you was an all grown and badass woman until I hollered, and then
the minute before,
and then when I hollered, you like, you know, and then you become this.
The minute before, yeah,
this, it's pretty wild.
It is.
And what we had to say a while ago was funny, and when we watch it back, we're gonna go, oh, we need to tell that story. But
yeah, we'll tell it.
I don't remember what it was, but
we'll tell it.
Yeah, I'll remember it eventually. But anyway, so yeah, that's how we do it, y'all. We reset. And we consider the partner. Consider your partner. Mm-hmm. So if you're the hollerer in the family, just like I said, put in the comments, and we'll help hold each other accountable. Say, hey, you know, I endeavor to not holler at my spouse the rest of my life.
Yeah,
and the rest of my life is a long time. Hopefully.
And I would want to say is that, you know, people have different definitions of hollering and yelling.
Well, and only you, because you're like, well, I wasn't hollering.
No, I'm saying people have different.
They do.
It's different.
They do.
You know, there's yelling to get a point across, yelling or something takes you off guard and you're yelling, or something surprises you.
No, not
yelling,
surprise, and not to oh, I got the story, and not to warn you of danger, right? Not right. That. I'm talking about we having a conversation and I'm hollering at you, and you hollering at me,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's the only definition. It ain't. There's nothing else. That's just that. Because if I'm hollering at you to save your life, I'm not hollering at you. I'm trying to get you out of danger. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So,
but that's not what I'm talking about.
You just said that.
Okay.
What are you talking about? That's what you just said. You said people have different definitions.
They do
of yelling in voice. Yeah. You said, and you went through those things.
No, like there is the kind of things that we do, which is a form of disrespect.
Absolutely.
It is disrespectful.
Absolutely.
Okay. But then there's some people who grew up in a home where they were yelled at and cussed at and belittled and all that. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the same thing. It's the same thing. You got to not do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing we're talking about. Right. Now, again, if I'm yelling at you to get you to move, it's not me yelling at you in an argument or if I'm displeased or if you said something crazy and I'm yelling back at you. That's a very specific thing, you know, and if your husband is like, I'm loud, you know, my family loud. Mm-hmm. So if we just talking loud, that ain't yelling at you. That's just us being loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we always do, be loud.
Right.
You know what it is, and you know what it is. You can't, you know what I'm saying? So I remembered. I knew I was gonna remember. So when we first got together, everything was really cool. She was working in the sheriff department, so you know, we'd be in a crowd, her head was always on the swivel. Right? Then we get together and we're together. And we go to places like we were in New Orleans and we were in other places in which it's not familiar territory to us and stuff like that. We're in these big crowds, and I would get mad because like we together, right? And if I put my hand on her side and I'm trying to move her out of the way, she pushed back, like lean into my hand, I'm trying to get you to move. I'm trying to take you out of harm's way.
I remember that.
Or, like that. So if we're walking and I put my hand and I go, hey, look, let's, move over, whatever. I'm trying to get you out of harm's way. She would lean into it. I'd be like, man, come on, bro. Or if I go, V, so-and-so and so-and-so. She wouldn't respond. I'd be like, Vanessa, what? Trying to get you to move. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why don't you know my voice? Why don't you respond to my voice? What is it that's stopping you from responding to my voice?
I remember that.
I was like, man,
I remember
people that I'm not even having sex with respond to my voice more than you. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem for me. I'm like, I can't even enjoy myself in a big city or in a big crowd because you ain't listening to me.
Right.
I'm like, if something is going on, I'm trying to get you out of harm's way. You fighting me to go your own way. I'm like, man, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But thank God, we're eons ahead of that.
Oh, absolutely.
We're eons ahead of that. So that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
but it started off rough.
It was rough as hell.
It was rough.
As hell. So the highlights of this are your encoding has to be clear so that they can decode correctly, and try to remove all interference in between that encoding and decoding, which is your message sending and their message receiving. I also challenged all of y'all to who are married and who are in serious relationships to make a commitment to your spouse that you will never raise your voice towards them again in an angry or really insulting tone. I was never insulting, but I would match her volume, and I realized that hurt her, so I had to stop that because the last thing I want to do is have my baby hurt or me be the source of pain for her. So that's not a good thing. And finally, be very, very aware of your spouse's voice. Mm-hmm. Because, everybody got their own way of communicating, but in different situations, people don't pay as much of attention.
Right. So
if you just always be attentive to your spouse's voice, then you'll be okay because you'll be able to watch out for each other. Mm-hmm. So that was this one, the reset after disagreement, the do's and don'ts. Do you hold on to it? Do you let it go? How fast do you need? How much time do you need? Y'all got to ask those questions. Yeah. Put that in the comments. How much time do you need from, after disagreement? She said a day. I say after I said it, I'm good. We can move on to the next thing. But, everybody got different. Everybody got a different thing.
And you have to discuss the amount of time.
Y'all got to discuss it and come up with a good time, and y'all stick to that time.
Yeah.
So until next time, speaking of time, we'll holler at y'all. This has been Better Marriage Daily, where we give you tips to love each other in spite of each other, so that in hopes of you being able to have a better marriage daily. I'm Sean.
And I'm B.
And we'll holler.
Baby, I'm gonna take my time.